Hi everyone, my name is Andreas Steinross and I'm here to promote critical thinking. If we all properly learn how to think for ourselves, learn to use to the fullest of our abilities our creativity, logic, imagination, integrity, morals, dignity, and authenticity, well, these are all huge, gigantic tools for self-empowerment. And self-empowerment means being able to make our dreams come true. And I was taught a long time ago to dream big, to question everything, especially authority. We're here on this planet to co-create our own reality, to make our own show, and we are here to become the very best humanitarians we possibly can. Here is a quote from the Radio Free Liberty website. Quote, "The strike that changed the world began around dawn of August 14th, 1990. Some 17,000 workers seized control of the Lenin shipyard in Gdansk to protest, amongst other things, a recent rise in food prices. Their leader, Lech Walesa, had narrowly avoided arrest by secret police that morning and had managed to scale the shipyard gate and join the workers inside. Soon workers in 20 other area factories joined the strike in solidarity. 17 days later, after negotiations with Poland's communist government, the burly mustache Walesa appeared before the workers with a historical message. We have an independent, self-governing union. We have the right to strike." In September 1980, the independent, self-governing trade union Solidarity was officially formed. Over the next 15 months, the union's membership grew from 1 million to 9 million people, 1/4 of Poland's population. On December 13th, 1981, General Jaruzelski, the Polish Prime Minister, declared martial law and outlawed Solidarity. The military, in a plan hatched over the previous months, arrested most of Solidarity's leaders, including Walesa. Walesa would spend nearly a year in jail, and for the next 7 years he would be under constant watch and harassment by secret police. In the long dark period leading up to the radical changes of 1989, Solidarity worked in the underground. But as Sidorsky recalls, it never wavered from one of its key principles, non-violence. It was a peaceful movement which actually realized all its objectives and more. So I think the path of non-violence is certainly an important Solidarity legacy. Faced with intense social and economic pressure, Jaruzelski finally agreed to talks with Solidarity in early 1989. 2 months later, after historic roundtable talks, the two sides signed a 400-page agreement with sweeping political and economic reforms that officially recognized Solidarity. In June 1989, in the first free elections ever in the communist bloc, Solidarity won the maximum number of seats allowed in both houses of parliament, with two smaller parties. It formed the first non-communist government in a Soviet bloc. End quote. Thank you very, very much, Lech Walesa and your Solidarity crew, for showing us how it's done and for showing us your extraordinary amounts of bravery and courage. You rock, my brothers and sisters. These people said, "We ain't doing this no more." They all got together and put an end to the communist regime. So you see, folks, if Lech Walesa and his Solidarity crew can do it, well then so can we. And the only thing that's stopping us from making this happen is us. I've been a union worker for over 31 years now, and I've seen us give up an incredible amount of benefits. I've seen inflation kick us in the head, and have seen a gigantic decrease in our standard of living. Can someone please give me a logical explanation as to why we are consistently going backwards? I got my first journeyman's ticket in 1984 and we were earning just under $20 an hour. I seen the paperwork from the acreage that I bought from the people that I bought it from. They paid $43,000 in 1983. So you see, folks, $20 an hour, $43,000 for my acreage. So right here, now, today, I earn $45 an hour and my acreage is worth $500,000. So in the last 34 years, my wages have gone up a multiple of 2.25 and my acreage has gone up a multiple of 11.63. I now, today, right here, have to work 9.38 times more just to have the same standard of living as I did in 1984. Woohoo! Aren't we all doing more well for ourselves, everyone? And just imagine if the rate of inflation stayed exactly the same for the next 34 years as it did the last 34 years. Well, if you do the math, we'll be earning $90 an hour and my acreage is going to cost $5.5 million. Woohoo! Don't our kids have lots to look forward to? And what exactly have we accomplished by going backwards in our standard of living? Well, we made the rich people more money for themselves at our expense. Our forefathers literally died in the streets fighting for better working conditions and better wages. Our forefathers are probably rolling in their graves right now, wondering why we turned into such cowards and freely gave up everything that they fought so hard for. Why are we settling for such a low, pathetic standard of living? We should be settling for nothing less than extreme wealth, extreme prosperity, and extreme abundance. Our Creator wants us to be successful, living wealthy and abundant lives. Just look at all the miraculous gifts we have here on this planet. Everything we need to sustain our lives. It's just a question of, how do I make my own show? Here's a question that we might like to ask ourselves. Do I agree with the way people in charge of this planet are operating our planet? Do I agree in doing all the work while a fraction of 1% of the world's population lives in extreme wealth and luxury? Have we forgotten the fact that the elitists need us way more than we need them? We are the labor force. We are the ones who produce all the goods that we need to live our lives. Without us, the elitists would have nothing. Again, I ask the question, why are we working for such a low, pathetic standard of living? We should be working for nothing less than extreme wealth, extreme prosperity, success, and extreme abundance. Isn't that the reason why we get up to go to work in the first place? Have we all forgotten just how important us workers really truly are? A few years back, we had this huge solar flare in Japan which wiped out the power in that country. Now imagine if we had a humongous, gigantic solar flare that wiped out the power on our entire planet. Well, I'm estimating that 90% of the world's population would be dead within 2 weeks from us not going to work and keeping all our survival necessities operating. Who would survive? Hunters, gatherers, and real, true, honest healers. And that's it. So you see, folks, that's actually how important we the workers are. Why should a very, very, very small group of people collect billions of dollars of profits off the backs of hard-working, honest people? We're the ones doing all the work, and what do we get in return? Oh yeah, an incredibly pathetic wage. 99% of the world's population is nothing more than slaves to the money system. Welcome to modern day slavery, everyone. Just because the elitists have an agenda doesn't mean that we need to follow it, now does it? It appears that people in charge of this planet have created a gigantic game of Monopoly. And they're definitely winning at this game because they're very, very successful at the divide and conquer concept. I am suggesting that we play Monopoly as a team. I am suggesting that we grab the bull by its horns, hop on his back, and hang on for the ride. I am suggesting workers of the world unite. I am suggesting that we join all the unions together to form one solidarity union. There's definitely strength in numbers. Just imagine the incredible negotiation powers we would have as a whole, as one unit. We would definitely be way more successful at our negotiations if between 5 and 10 million of us walked out on strike, as opposed to only tens of thousands of people walking out on strike. If enough of us just say yes to change, then yes, we can create change. It's that easy, folks. The goal is to get every worker to join our union. And just think about it. If 60 to 70% of the entire workforce were in our union, well, we would definitely be creating our own show. We would be co-creating our own reality. We will be the ones making our own show. It's just like Bugs Bunny used to sing to us when we were kids, quote, "On with the show, this is it," end quote. Let's create job security for ourselves. Let's create high-paying jobs for ourselves. Let's give ourselves lots of time off so that we can enjoy more of life and have more fun. And most importantly, let's give ourselves the opportunity to fully exercise and develop our internal, individual, unique powers. The ultimate goal is to make each and every worker wealthier beyond their wildest dreams. This in turn will make money not very important. Then we can eliminate money altogether, and then we can really begin to put our focus on fixing every last little problem here on this planet. Here is a stat from the Canadian government website. As of 2015, there are 4.83 million union workers here in Canada, which makes up 31.8% of the entire workforce. If we all belonged to one union and donated $2 an hour of our wage, well, that would work out to $9.66 million per hour, $77.28 million per day, $386.4 million per week, and $20.09 billion per year. Now, if we were to combine all of our pension contributions to that, well, I'm estimating we'd be looking at having more like $40 billion worth of assets. And just imagine what we can do if we had that kind of money. We should all know by now how fractional banking works. Here is a quote from the Financial Post, quote, Household debt hits fresh record with Canadians owing $2 trillion by the end of 2016. End quote. Here is a quote from the Economic Reason website. Quote, Canadian banks have a 0% reserve requirement, thus affording them the ability to create a virtually unlimited amount of money out of thin air. End quote. And what does all this mean? It means that the banks in Canada can loan out as much money as they want without having any money in their back pockets. Oh yeah, and did I forget to mention that the banks are making gigantic amounts of profits by charging us outrageous amounts of money on interest by pretending to loan us money that they don't actually have. So if the banks can do it, well then so can we. Let's take our $40 billion and create our own bank or our own financial institution. Let's give our union and all of its members interest-free loans. And if our union or any of its members needs more money, well, we'll just lend ourselves more money. It's that easy, folks. Next, we begin to build. Let's build our own manufacturing and production plants. Let's completely eliminate planned obsolescence, which means building cheap crap that breaks down in a hurry to keep consumerism and the money system rolling right along. Let's build only the highest quality goods that we can. Let's provide only the highest quality of service that we can. If we build only the highest quality goods and sell them at a reasonable rate, then we should get a huge share of the market. Let's build the highest quality and highest efficient affordable housing. Let's get all the farmers in our union and grow only the highest quality organic foods. Let's rebuild the entire education system to promote critical thinking and our unique individual internal powers. Let's build wellness centers and promote self-healing through holistic and naturopathic medicines. Let's learn how to deal with our emotional and our nervous systems to further promote well-being. Let's focus on how to minimize our environmental pollution and how to clean up our planet. Let's put our focus on the research, development, and production of clean, renewable, alternate, sustainable energy. Let's, to the highest of our abilities, put an end to poverty and violence. Let's all work together to co-create the desperately needed change on this planet. There's definitely strength in numbers, and while we're at it, if we are generating tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars worth of revenue, well then let's pay ourselves really, really high wages. So what do you think, everyone? Does interest-free loans and working for really, really high wages sound like a better return going to work than we're getting today? Here's another suggestion. Instead of buying lotto tickets or any other type of gambling, let's all put that money in a pool and put it in a fund where we can create more high-paying union jobs, which in turn will make lots of big winners. It's going to take some time to get all of this project properly operating. We're going to have to do some kind of job sharing program until we all get our growing pains figured out. How about we all work 6 months and take 6 months off to give the next person an opportunity to go to work. Once we get everything in order and are running smoothly, then we can begin to take on new members, with the poorest of the poor being at the front of the line. We will be taking in new members in order of their income, beginning with the lowest income and then moving up from there. We must operate our union in total 100% transparency. This means to operate in a clear, open, honest, open book fashion and to allow everyone the freedom to inspect any aspect of how we are doing business. We must, at whatever cost, make sure that we have zero corruption in our union. Transparency, integrity, morals, dignity, and bravery are all key components to our success. We have no one to blame but ourselves for the current mess that this planet is in. We are the ones who allow the current money economic system to operate. We are the ones who allow this gigantic wage gap between the rich and the poor, and all of this inequality between the rich and the poor. We are the ones who allow this divide and conquer concept to happen. We are the ones who allow a fraction of 1% of the world's population to be in charge of our planet. Therefore, we must be the ones who create change. And yes, when enough of us say yes to change, we will make this happen. I would like everyone to ask themselves these 4 important questions, and please be very honest with yourself, for you'll only be lying to yourself. Question number 1. Do I agree with the way the people in charge are operating our planet? Question number 2. Do I agree with going to work for the wages that I do, knowing that someone somewhere is getting extremely wealthy off of my hard work and is hoarding all of that wealth? Question number 3. Is there anything that can be done to make the situation better? And question number 4, the most important question, is there anything that I can do to make the situation better? I am highly suggesting everybody be really brave, especially if somebody crosses the line and you have to defend yourself. Be fearless. I am highly suggesting that we put our focus on unleashing our unique individual internal powers to see what we can all come up with. I am highly suggesting that when we get all juiced up on our newfound powers, that we put our heads together to see what we can come up with. It's going to take a lot of hard work from a lot of people to make this project happen, but I am totally confident that we can make this happen. So, please everyone, have a ton of faith in yourself and whatever else you wish to believe in. And as long as your beliefs don't involve causing any physical or mental harm or pain to anyone, well then go for it. And please don't forget to also respect other people's beliefs. Don't forget, you are the only person who knows what's very best for yourself. It's like my old friend Dan used to say before he passed. Rest in peace, Daniel. He used to say, it's just that easy, folks. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Ciao for now. Peace be with us all. V for victory. In solidarity. United we stand, and together we rise. Thanks for listening, everyone.